The Traveler, a Lonely Wanderer by Gabriele Erba. The traveler wanders around. He doesn't want to stop, nor could he if he wished to. These few lines aim to be a black and white picture of what I feel when traveling. These are just a few words to paint my idea of traveler, which I believe is a lonely wanderer. Once the traveler tastes the sweet bitterness of his journey, once he deeply touches the essence of wandering, once he understands the true meaning of his loneliness, he will never be able to rest in peace, because he will always feel that solitary call from the unknown that needs to be discovered as much as the wanderer needs to encounter to really feel alive. When the traveler starts his trip, he perceives a sense of excitement, which might be close to the birth of a new being. The newborn comes along to the world to see and feel what he had forgotten, to go beyond that limit which prevented him from reaching the truth. In the same way, our wanderer gets on his ship like an angel coming down from the sky. He forgets everything he knew of his world, and during the crossing towards a land untouched, he eventually becomes a new being with little resemblance of his past self. He is ready to absorb the treasures which will find him on his way through his refreshed life. It is special how little one can realize the uniqueness of the gifts one receives while traveling. All the moments which give meaning to the wanderer's new life flee so fast that he cannot deeply comprehend what they really signify. Later, in the solitude of his room, staring into space, he appreciates that what he lived turns out to be memories. In that precise moment, all the previous instants become enriched with the army of emotions, whose potential flows down from his brain to his heart, making his past acquire an infinite strength. Only then he is able to make one step forward on his quest for his own essential truth. What is almost paradoxical is that the solitude in which the traveler finds himself make him meet with souls he would have never met had he been accompanied. These lone wandering spirits hear the mutual calls that come from one another, congregate and exchange their emotions, so as to accumulate the most precious of treasures, that which was already conquered by their companion, which will make them closer to their supreme goal of truly knowing. Ultimately, the wanderer has an unconscious desire to stop his rebirth cycle, to gain that quiet peace which is like a new pair of glasses, with which he will be able to travel and discover while staying in the place where he feels deeply at home. The relation our wanderer has with this home place, which sometimes collides with his first birthplace, is weird, contradictory, and during his first journeys can make him suffer a lot. Usually, the traveler's first home-related thought is of rejection. He feels homeless. He does not want one, and he hates the idea of having any kind of mind-forged manacles, which would prevent him from totally enjoying his freedom, his divine power of creating a new life when he wishes. With time moving on, with many lives helping the traveler to get closer to his goal, he realizes how foolish his perception of home was. He suddenly understands that all the incredible people and the experiences happening to him are nothing but empowered by the thin thread that links to his mother place and to the people who love him. These people actually give meaning to his freedom, aid his discovery, and help him go farther on towards his goal. Once more, it is in the loneliness of his room, facing the harbor, that he starts seeing those who have love ties with him and the authentic guardians of his wonderful quest. At the end of each voyage, the wanderer watches his new image at the mirror, finding out the beautiful differences that appear on his face. He falls in love with them, remembering the origin of each and every one of his wrinkles. Therefore, he begins to fear departure as every being fears death. A deep sentiment of attachment hugs him, making him unwilling to leave the place, which is so beautiful precisely because it has to be left. The solitary wanderer starts walking with the same pace as a prisoner on death row. Now loneliness really makes him feel its weight. Some tears mix in with the thin air of the harbor, while the final step brings his body onto an uncomfortable ship. On the other side of his sea, the traveler reaches the climax of sadness. But finally, when he turns to a new mirror, he sees his meaningful wrinkles exactly where they are. He smiles. The wanderer smiles out the luminous light of a person who reached something which will never be lost, and he cannot wait to born once more. Here is Bob's Voice, the podcast by Bob Magazine, a selection of the best articles.